So guys, in case you wasn't aware, I am sitting with one of the OGs, original granddaddies, original gangsta pappies of the country rap genre. And if you ain't aware, get aware real quick. We're about to go through it. I'm sitting here with the Brahma Bull, Jeff McCOOL. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but we got rhymes all day, baby. And I just wanted to say thank you so much, bro.
Oh, man, thank you, dude.
Giving me the opportunity out of your busy day. Right now, we're at a huge practice studio. These guys are getting amped up for shows. And he gave me an hour or two or however long of his time so we can hang out and talk about the legacy. I got a couple of funny warm-up questions we're going to ask you just to, get a good vibe and to go. Man, it's always a good vibe hanging out with Jeff, though, man. This guy is one of a kind. So I have a question for you, dude. Super serious. Take your time with it. How many times has your brother-in-law pinned you to a 3-count at a mud bog or out of the ring?
It's funny because this is literally, I just told the guys out in rehearsal, right now as we speak, might be the only time in my life that I can say, I think I can take it right now. He just had double knee replacement 3 days ago. Oh. That's the only reason why. But,
hey, if he's watching this, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to edit that part out. But not a lot of people know that about Jeff, that his brother-in-law is a famous wrestler. I just thought that was a funny. I saw him post.
I worry more about my sister. She did it forever too, and she'd probably whoop my ass right now. To be honest with you.
Probably both of us at the same time. I've been watching some of your videos you've been posting on Facebook in the past year or two about your old college football days, arena football days. So is it safe to say, if I started the first country rap football league, that you're gonna join? You good?
Under one stipulation, just like when we were kids growing up, if I could be an all-time quarterback, yeah, where I don't have to run, do anything, because, man, listen, I was just telling somebody this the other day, I was just throwing the ball with my niece this summer. After 10 minutes, I got to go in the ice, elbows, shoulders up. I can still throw it a little bit, but oh man.
So do you still have it?
I think I can probably still throw it a little bit pretty good. I never, as far as I could never run. I couldn't move well, but I could always sling it a little bit. I probably got a good 3 or 4 good ones in it, but I might have to ice real quick. Right? I'll tell you that now.
Pop some Tylenol in between plays. Hey man, I'm watching videos. You can sling a ball.
That's about all I could do. I could throw it. I couldn't read defenses worth a damn. And that was the problem. I modeled my game after Brett Favre and all the hard throwing quarterbacks that didn't really read defense as well. They just relied on the strength. And I got in trouble more than did success. But honestly, I'd be scared to go out and try to sling it hard and just throw one. My shit might just fall off.
Yeah.
It's bad. Getting old sucks, dude.
You ain't lying, bro. You ain't playing, you ain't lying. I'm finding that out too.
Oh yeah.
And after the shows now, I don't go to the after party. I go to the sleep. I go to the couch.
Yeah, you got to get that rest in.
At least you don't sing with your arm. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you just said that though, because I just went up to Cincinnati yesterday to see some of my old college buddies, right?
Yeah.
And they taught me to work it out with them yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I can't hardly walk right now. They all stayed in shape.
Yeah.
For 26, 25 years. I didn't. And I'm hurting so bad today, bro. Oh, God, it was bad.
Dude, I feel your pain. I worked in a factory for a long time in my 20s, and I naturally kept weight off.
Right.
Now I've had a sit-down job for the past 6, 7, 8 years, and dude, it's not the same. I tried to get on a skateboard the other day, about killed myself.
Yeah, you die.
Skateboard's get the fuck off of me.
No, I agree.
I'm back into it now though. I'm gonna get in shape, man. Can't have these ugly interview or something.
It's tough. I learned the hard. We got to do it now too, because it's so much harder as you get older to get weight off and stay in shape and all that.
It is, bro. But your journey. I've seen the weight loss. I could tell.
Yeah, I got up 415, 414, something like that.
That's
3
big.
years ago. Yeah, it was bad.
Big boy.
And it's crazy. It's because COVID actually was a blessing for me because we had just gone on our last Moccasin Creek cruise. We went out, came back into port, and COVID had hit, and the world stopped. And I was at my heaviest. I was depressed. I couldn't figure. It was just I was miserable, and it was all because of my physical health.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I went back to Tennessee, and Daff and I separated. And when I went to Florida, I got an Airbnb in a little fish town. A lot of us down that area know, but Steenhatchee, love it. Went over there, and the internet, the service, and nothing. For 6 months, all I did was I'd get up in the morning, I'd walk 25 minutes that direction, and when the timer went off, I'd turn around and come back. And I just kept amping it up to where I was just walking each day.
A little bit more, a little bit more.
Started eating better and doing those things. And then I was like, man, had that not happened, and I was still on the road and whatnot, I would have never been, I could have, but I wouldn't have changed my lifestyle.
Right, you wouldn't have had the time to stop and make your, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. And I'm just going to, if you want to, let's just start at the beginning. Do you remember the first album? This is before the music actually started. You guys actually kicked off. Like maybe you were a teenager or a kid or whatever. Do you remember the first album, artist, song that sparked your interest in music? I was in 8th grade. And I saw somebody play a Leonard Skinner guitar, song guitar, and I was just like, psh.
Man, it's funny for me. And of course, I'm a little older, so it was, I can remember regular radio, like top 40 radio, the top 5 songs that week. One may be a country song, one may be a southern rock song, one may be Run DMC. It was like everything. So we always were around a lot of different music. Now, nobody in my family, including me, is musically inclined whatsoever. So I was never, I was loved music. We went out to it, you listen to it, whatever. But I've said this before, it wasn't until I was in college that I started listening to lyrics.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of what took me more toward the hip-hop side, because I like the storytelling. Now, granted, I grew up a ginormous, like, Kool D, Houdini, Boogie Down, like old East Coast hip hop.
Right.
And Giant, Skinner, Molly Hatch, all the Southern rocks, but everything down south. So it was just this weird blend. But to me, I've actually been framed that question a couple of times similar, and I've thought that same thought, and I can't recall a song that said this is it.
Yeah,
but I can remember going all the way back to 7, 8 years old and setting up the video camera and rapping Fat Boys and doing skits at the house. So I always enjoyed it. I just didn't realize it.
Right.
Until I got out of sports. I was like, what am I going to do next? And so I can't pinpoint an actual. Hey, you know what? I tell you what, I probably can. It's not a song that made me want to get into it, but a song where I really enjoyed. It was Dougie Fresh's Lottie Dottie, Well, no, I wasn't Dougie Fresh. I'm sorry, Slick Rick's Children's Story.
Oh, okay.
When I first heard the story and the video, I was like, oh, they're telling stories that rhymes with school with music, and I was a hip hop fan from that point on.
It was cool. So that's where the hip hop comes.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that style of how they told the stories, and it was just it was unique and. It just grew from there. But yeah, man, I didn't go to a music studio for the first time in my life until I was 31 years old.
Oh yeah,
so that's how little I know about it. I know it every day,
But I know exactly what you're saying, because you don't stop and think about it. You just, hey, I've loved this all the way, but when you do stop and think about it, you could probably something hits your brain. Something hits my brain every now and then where I forget about it, and I'll see something about it, and I'll just be like, oh, I remember that.
I think if you're a musically inclined person and you've been around it all your life, they can tell you that song or that one thing that they remember from a child. No different like with me, it was sports. I can remember the first time I saw Dan Marino throw a football. I was like, I want to do that. I was just on a different wavelength as far as music taste and sports. That's where my head was at. Because I could go in this band room right now, and every one of my band members can tell you, hey, yeah, at 8 years old, I heard such and such, and that turned out. They've been in music all their life. It's that's what's been unique about this for me too, is because I'm still really new to music. 90% of people in the music world 10, 15, 20 years in, and I mean, I'm going 13 years. I didn't start until I was old.
But but you had that base built probably forever, you know what I'm saying? Appreciation for music or whatever. But that brings us to another question I can just think off the rip. So, like, what was the moment to where, like, you got asked to join, or did you get asked to join a band, or was it like, were you just like, hey, maybe I can do this? Or?
Yeah, no, it was a drunken karaoke night in St. Augustine, Florida. It was a Thursday night. Yeah, it was a Thursday night. It was 2009. We were at Arnold's Steakhouse. This little steakhouse bar on US 1 doing karaoke. And I was doing some Beastie Boys stuff. And I don't know why. I threw in some words. Our buddies, we would freestyle drunk white kid stuff and the bonfire.
Yeah.
And I just was doing some stuff that night. And some guy came up to me. He's like, hey, man. He said, that was cool. He said, I like them country stuff you were talking. Come out of my truck. I want you to hear something. All right, man. Well, no, listen to me. Puts in it with Colt's Ride Through the Country. Colt literally, he had just he had just started really getting, because this is what, 12, 13 years ago.
Right.
And I was like, I like that. That's what it hit me. So to answer the question from before, I guess it was hearing Colt for the first time. I was like, I want to do this.
I can do that.
So I literally, the next day, I called a buddy of mine I'd grown up with all my life. He lived in Gainesville, had big music studios we went to school for. We always knew Dave had a studio. I called him and said, hey, Dave, I need to book some studio time. He's like, cool, man, who you bringing through? Because he's not me forever. He knows all the shit about music.
Right.
I said, I need some studio time for myself. For what? I said, well, I'm going to start country rapping. He's like, dude, it's not a thing. It was funny. I had a buddy at the time.
Shout out, Dave. Right. It became a thing. No offense.
Oh, he asked about it all the time. No, but I had a buddy at the time that I was working with locally. We had a little group called, we started off with this called Double Wide. And that kind of split because one of us went to prison. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Right. But Bottleneck was doing his thing, you know, and Jack lived, it's hard for me. That's always Jackie to me, so don't mess up Jackie Bottleneck. But Jackie lived about an hour.
Shout out Bottleneck.
Oh, yeah, and we lived up on MySpace.
Yeah.
I'll come on down, and that's where it built in Gainesville. Me and Jack started doing and the majority of the early stuff were all a bunch of covers, like Party Like a Rock Star was the big song, that song, Party Like a, we were like, Party Like some country, you know, we had spoof stuff that we were good at that, and we just started digging it, man. I was like, you know, there's actually a market for that. Jim Dandy, that's the drummer.
Oh, what's up, man?
Jim's 22 years older than I was, 18 years younger than we do. But yeah, that's how that kind of started, man. So then Bottleneck started doing, you know, doing the double wide stuff, and then started the whole Mud Bunk deal and doing that whatnot. And then linked up with Smo on MySpace.
Right.
He had just done kicking in Tennessee, and we went out and worked with him for a couple. It just all snowballed, like literally, in like 6 months time. I think it was in 2010.
So it was more like it was weird. It was
weird. It was really strange because it was
a lot of people, they try for 20 years.
And that's what I try to tell people. It's like, not everything works. It's no different than when Cobain and those dudes brought Guns music out. They were kings of it. It was great. People loved it. It was huge as shit. But it was gone in 3 or 4 years. You had the sound of one group I always reference is Onyx. I used to love Onyx because they had guitars and they were crunk, but they were rapping, but it was rocky. I was like, it was a sound that only took for a year or two. Now you think about if social media had been around back in those days, the amount of different genres we'd had.
Oh, dude.
So when this started, like anything else, I was like, man, there's really a lane for this. There's a lot of people that like this. Mm-hmm. Social media was out, and that allowed us to grow it, but at the same time, we had to combat millions, the masses of musical purists that this ain't music. You can't get it. So I'm not saying we as in Moccasin Creek or me and Bob, we as in anybody that was starting in the genre. we had to spend as much time promoting ourselves as we did explaining to other people two things. One, things are different. We're doing this, we're doing, and two, I don't give a fuck what you're trying to tell me. This is what we're gonna do.
Right.
You either like it or you don't. It's okay.
Exactly.
I don't care. We're
not waiting for a survey of your opinion.
And I'll go back and listen to the early stuff, and some of it's cringe as shit, and it's all progressed. But at the same time, I can guarantee you the first song Kurt Cobain wrote wasn't great.
Sure.
Everybody progressed, right? And watching the genre do that was really cool. And to be a part of it, like the very early stages, it's neat, But,
it is.
And now it gets to the point where I'll catch myself sometimes. I'll see somebody do a country rap review, and I'm like, hey, dude, this is country as I am skinny. But there's that. At this point, I don't care anymore because it took me a long time to realize, wait a minute, I'm contradicting myself, and I'm a little hypocritical because we had to grow into stuff.
Yes.
And it's just transitioned. It's like the mumble rap shit. I don't dig it, but I don't even be hating on these people. That's what those kids like.
Right.
So it took me a long time to really adjust and understand that.
And you're not a hater. I'm not a hater either. But you know what? You can see see things for what it is, and we all can. And I don't want to elaborate, long on it, but like I can see when somebody comes in off of an apartment in the city corner, and they're like, they've been rapping, doing regular rap for 10 years, and they're like, oh yeah, I want to be country.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
I'm glad you said that, because I want to hit on that, because I see a certain somebody right now that's on top of the world taking a lot of that same bullshit flat. And here's the deal. We all know Joey was one of the dopest, rawest, best street rappers to ever make. Transitions to country, right? And you see those people that talk the shit, this and this. But here's the difference with him and these other ones that you were explaining. He's got the talent to be able to go to these genres and sing and get outside of his box. Just because you were a failed white rapper doesn't mean, a bunch of these other white rappers that are actually country, that allows me my ticket to get in the door.
Yeah.
And people see through that shit. Like you can't, like you said, you can't put out a song last week about slinging bricks and then come put out a song this week about chopping sticks.
It makes you look inauthentic. Shout out Jelly Roll though.
No, I'm a huge fan, dude.
Love Jelly Roll. but I don't want to, like, the Chad Arms interview is going to drop before this one, but Chad was talking a little bit about that. There's more that I didn't know. And we talked a little bit about that. Jelly was listening to
he's talking about it all. He grew up around music. His family was big. I mean, what he listened to us. But that's what I'm saying. It's like there's so many. Aaron Lewis, Darius Rucker, all these rockers became the country. Wasn't an issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you take a rapper and now he's country. Oh, he ain't.
It's an issue.
Why? Because he's talented and he lived a life that's seen everything. I tell people this all the time. Look, man, I grew up in a small, really redneck country town. Georgia Pacific Paper Mill is the staple there. That's where everybody works. But I was also a quarterback on a football team where I had 10 different personalities in that huddle at all times with 10 different backgrounds, 10 different races, creeds, religions, whatever.
Sure. You
just got along with people because that's what you had to do to succeed.
Right.
And I'm like, sometimes you're not best friends outside of work.
Right.
There's band guys that are in my band for 6-7 years that outside of work, touring, whatever, we probably only get together a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with, we just have completely different interests. And that's okay. And that's what bothers me about this is that people don't see the difference in somebody that is actually genre chasing and authenticity.
Yeah, right.
I don't give a damn if you can sing country music, if you can sing hip hop, you can do it's music.
Right.
You don't like it, you know how easy it is to do this? Next. Instead, these you're a piece of shit, I hate what you're doing. You just wasted so much energy for no reason. Just scroll.
Right.
You know?
Guys, just if you're gonna hate on this video, that's cool. Drop your thing, but I'm just gonna let you know I 100% do not care what you think. Now I can appreciate every view I get. I appreciate everybody.
Absolutely.
But as far as if you're gonna tell me how to run my life, I don't care. I'm too old to care.
And we touched on it earlier. I'm the first to tell you. I mean, it took me a good 6-7 years to understand that, this one that's on here talking shit, he's not buying your music, he's not sharing, so why are you giving the energy back to him?
Right.
Because I was quick to have to explain or tell people, now I just don't give a shit, man. It's like, your band don't sound the same as Charlie Bach, but oh shit, it's a different voice.
He's not here. He physically isn't here.
It's like, that doesn't bother, and for a while it did, but now I'm like, he does his own thing. If you enjoy it, that's awesome. Yes, we had a cool thing, a different sound. Go follow him.
Go follow Charlie.
Support.
Click back over.
I'm not upset. Like, for you to take the time out of your day, what's that say for you?
Right.
Like, how sad are you?
And you know what I've noticed, man? Most of these.
Sorry, appreciate it, bro.
You good?
Sorry, I'm asking the podcast.
We're good. Interviewing your next, bro.
Let me know.
Yeah, think about it. But yeah, man, I don't exert that negative.
I totally agree, man.
I used to be such a hothead, and I finally got all my stuff under control, and I was just like, whatever, man.
I'm at that point now, which I'm nobody for sure, but like I'm starting to get traction, and it's kind of like most of these people, bro, 3 subs, 11 subs.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they don't even put anything out on their own, but they have an opinion about everything you do.
Right. I mean, just to break the monotony and the boredom of my day sometimes when I'll get the negative comment, I will go to their page just to look, and I'll see digital creator, 12 followers. I'm like, that's not what you do, bro. That's not your style.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'll even leave a comment sometimes. Tell your 12 dudes. Tell your 12 people. But anyways, man. So all right. So let me see if I can. Okay, you said something about you and Bottleneck earlier doing the like funny like spoofs and stuff. You got In the Mud, and you got Where the Wood's At, which is one of my personal favorites because of what we just talked about.
Right.
And can you elaborate on? Well, I guess we did elaborate on some of it, but like. I love that video. How did that song come about? And Where the Wood's At?
That was because, man, it's funny, dude. You can go back in a lot of my serious, like personal songs. You'll hear my almost preachy DMX vibe when I'm kind of talking. I was such a fan of him. I always was.
Oh yeah, DMX.
I actually did that as like a fun freestyle on my own and put it up a few years back. And then me and Jack linked up, I don't know, a couple years, right whenever this took place. I was like, brother, I got one that we got to get on. And let's do it. And so I played it for him. He's like, oh, yeah. So we did that one. And then the 50 Cent joint was cool.
That was fun.
But going all the way back, I think we did Party Like a Rock Star with My Chick Bad, My Chick Good. You know, and then that Smoke, that week. We were doing 35s on it instead of I got 5. Like, we were doing all that stuff, but we got to where we were doing real music, you know, and it was just time to have some fun. And Jack was like, "Yeah, we need one more. What do you want to do?" And he hit me with let's do the 50 Cent. I was like, "Oh yeah, let's do that." We were because there was another one. The only one. See, I got clearance and licenses to do all that, you know, but the superstars, the big time, the studs you can't license and get stuff from some people. Jay-Z's one of them because, dude, I had the dopest 99 problems with my truck. But my truck ain't one track.
Oh, come on.
But we can't do anything with it, you know. It's probably 7 years old. Or maybe older than that because I think I cut that when I was living on Smo's or in Smo's studio. I lived there for a year. Like, thanks. I mean, that's what he doesn't get the credit either. I mean, he and I have been through it 1,000 times back then, but I respect it. I respect him to death because without him, I wouldn't even be in this at all. He taught me everything about it, how to record, how to track myself, everything. Allowed me to live on his couch for a year, you know. So, but I think I cut that 99 Problems track way back then. We did In Too Deep, back to the hayfield. But then it got to the point where like, wait a minute. I'm about to turn into the country Weird Al if we don't start doing.
Yeah, you're right.
And then but that's how I learned music and how to write.
Yeah,
having fun with stuff I was already familiar with. But
sure, yeah.
The In the Mud and the where was that? Those are two of my favorites, bro. And they were weird. Oddly enough, they missed the algorithm altogether because they should.
Right. Oh yeah. Right.
And
well, I follow you, and that's how I saw them and stuff. And so I was like, "Why is this not huge?" You know what I'm saying? The videos even make it better.
The videos are great.
Yeah.
They never hit. And I was like, they just decide that sometimes.
Right.
One song you think, man, this is going to be huge. There's nothing.
Right.
You do another one, you're like, it's a filler. 2 million views. How? It's weird.
That is the total truth.
It is.
That's the total truth.
Merchandise is even worse. Man, this shirt is out. We got his dope. Man, you might sell 4 of them. Something. Then put just your logo right here and sell 40 of them. No, you never know, man. You never know.
That's awesome. Oh man. So, do you remember the exact time where Moccasin Creek got together and maybe profits were made, or you started booking shows and you were like, this could be something?
Drew. Moccasin Creek didn't start making profits till about 5 years ago. But yeah, man, long story short, I've never really told this story because it's so complex. But to make it easy, 2010, started a double wide, we went up to Snows. This is cool. Did the Kinfolk project with Sneed, Charlie Bonnet, myself. Jack didn't really want to tour at the time, which I get, because none of us were making money at it. We didn't know what was going to happen. He was working full time, he was married, he had 2 kids, young kids at the time.
Right.
So I was like, bro, I want to do this. I didn't even sell my house in Florida. I went to my attorney and said, I'm about to foreclose on everything, and I need you to file bankruptcy because I'm about to chase a dream. Right. So I did. So I stayed at his place. Then Smo and I had a falling out, and I was like, damn, I don't want to give up. What do I do? Well, Charlie had worked with us on a lot of stuff and was working with him. And there was just a bunch of just young, brand new in the business bickering over dumb shit that now, 12, 13 years later, we're all like,
damn.
Well, nobody, because everybody was worried, right? We were all worried about, well, who makes this and who gets paid up. Nothing was making money. So, who knew? So, we split, went our way. I said, I'm going to do my own thing, but I want to do a live band and all that. Because at the time, it was still everybody was just playing the tracks, And I was too. And so I linked up with Charlie, went down to Florida. And I'd already had our first album, Allowed to Be Loud. I had 7 of the songs already written. And I was going to do it on my solo album. I didn't have a name or anything. Didn't know what I was going to do. So went back down to Gainesville with Dave. Chuck came down with me. Cut 5-6 song demo. Went to an old buddy of mine that was managing us, helping us out at the time. And he was from my hometown. And he said, what name y'all going to run with? I had no clue. So we started spitballing. And he just wrote a list of stuff down from our hometown that I would remember it. Moccasin Creek was a legendary honky-tonk bar in town from the time I was an infant till it shut down. But the building stood there for years and years and the sign and everything. It was just a little, I was like, oh, that's us. I was like, this is my hometown. We'll understand and know it. So that kind of stuff. And then Chuck did our thing. And people don't realize, because we were so impactful when it was, not we, but the genre as a whole was so impactful and it was so quick. He only did Moccasin Creek for 2.5 years. I mean, he's been gone for a decade. And that happened. He split. Don't even. I get it. I mean, he's got a metal background, rock background. It was completely different.
Sure.
It was just a lot of friction to begin with. But we had some good times. We had fun with it. He decided to bounce, and I was like, you know what? I ain't stopping.
Yeah.
Put a full band together, and it was tough because that's when I had to learn music. I didn't know anything about bands and music and rehearsing and all this shit. So
to keep it glued together.
It took a good 5-6 years of grinding, hitting the road. When you talk about profit, dude, first 2 years we're riding 5 deep on a single cab Z71 with a rented U-Haul trailer, going to play for pizza and merchandise money.
Free beer.
Right. But I'd say around 2014-ish is when I was like, man, yeah, this is a real opportunity. We've got to run this as a business.
Yeah, okay.
As far as nets and losses and what makes sense and what doesn't, and then we were finally able to do it full time, and from there it's just been an adventure. It's been a fucking roller coaster.
That's cool, man. So 2014, you got to where you were like, hey, if we're going to keep doing this, let's drive it home and let's be smart about it. That's cool, man.
It was wild. It's still wild.
There's a lot of roles people don't understand. Like, you probably had to manage yourself and the whole band.
Yeah, I got lucky at the time. I say this. I've told this before too. Daphne, she was working in the medical. Had she not been working full time the first 2 years and supporting my music habit and trying to find, I'd have stopped probably and gave up like so many other. There's so many people out there so musically talented that just give up because they have to work and live and support themselves.
Oh yeah, families.
Because there's so much luck involved. And I tell people that all the time. Some of my best friends from the time I was a child are so musically talented. They've done music all their lives, but they had to do real jobs because it didn't pay the bills. And I felt guilty. I'm like, here I am out here with no musical talent. Never done it in my life. I'm making a living off of it. And my best friend that just spent his last 6 years in Nashville as a great songwriter, singer, just didn't catch that one break that was needed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I felt guilty sometimes,
Absolutely.
It bothered me. And then I finally was like, you know what? About 7 or 8 years in is when I said, you know what, man, I can't feel guilty anymore because I worked my ass off and got these breaks. And sometimes you got to make your own break. But
I know exactly what you mean. Up until recently, I haven't had much going on, but I've always loved, like you said, work full-time jobs. I've had 2 jobs from time to time.
Right.
And so, I've been given opportunities recently, and it's like, at first I was like, I got to take everybody with me, but then I'm like, well, I got to get my own boat first.
Yep.
And so you do feel guilty, but I mean, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
All right, so I've had the pleasure of partying, professionally writing down notes to Moccasin Creek's music.
We touched on that for a minute. That was another cluster, right? See, this can show a little bit of the authenticity of what Moccasin Creek and what this genre is, because a lot of people are like, man, you must be the problem. You never had stability. Like me and Jack split. Well, they don't know that he was working in this. Me and Smoke. Well, you've had a ton of band members. Yeah, had to go to rehab. It's like it's real life shit. We're not manufactured in Nashville.
Right.
I got a guy that we have to stop a show to put in an ambulance to take to the hospital because his BAL's triple the limit. And he's like, no, we've had. Well, the majority of these guys have been around 5-6 years off and on. Some of them longer for the long stay, but age, life happens when you really. Living what you're talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's
so important because me and Upchurch talked about that. People are tired of watching bullshit reality shows. And like what I mean by that is, hey, we got a guy who's going to make us money, and he's going to do this, and he's going to do this, and we're going to give you the perfect Ken doll, and we're only going to let him say certain things.
I'll tell you something funny as shit.
People are tired of that, really.
Funny as shit. One of the only good decisions I ever made in my life when I had an opportunity like that. I was casted on Party Down South.
Oh yeah.
I was the first year. I did all the casting calls, this, that, and the other.
That's cool.
I got casted, and they said we'll call you a month out from shooting. I'm like, cool. A month goes by, 2 months. I don't hear anything. So like a year and a half, 2 years have passed. And I started Moccasin Creek. We're getting after it. We're riding down the road one day, and Daphne's phone calls. It's somebody from LA. She answers. Hey man, you need to get your bags ready, or he needs to get his stuff ready. We're gonna start shooting in 30 days. I said, huh? It's been like 2 years. What happened was,
that's crazy.
When they wrote the script, when they wrote the idea for the Party Down South reality show, it was supposed to be a follow-up to Jersey Shore, but they didn't realize Jersey Shore was going to be this giant phenomenon run all those years.
Okay.
So when it finally ran out, then they wanted to do Party Down South. I said no. And another reason I'm so glad I did is because I started seeing the scripts and all the character I was going to be. I'm like, what the? This is supposed to be reality.
Yeah,
right?
I'm Jeff.
So so fast forward, we go to CMA's we go to CMA Awards, and this big dude walks up to me, and it's not his fault or anything. He walks up to me, bandana on, and he says, "Hey, you Moccasin Creek?" It's like, yeah. He's like, dude, you decided not to be on Party Down South. I got your spot. I swear his words were, "I'm playing you." I was like, "You're not playing me, bro. None of us are playing ourselves. It's not real. Like, and this is supposed to be reality." So I looked at my wife at the time and I said, "Oh, I was gonna be that guy." Like, what the reality? There's nothing real about it. So somebody would really go around with a camera with this shit.
I'm playing you, bro.
Yeah, I know. I was like, "No, you're not."
How weird was
So it was so fake, dude.
I couldn't imagine somebody walked up. I'm playing you, Drew, from YouTube.
I'm not even playing. It's wild, man.
That's crazy and hilarious. But so over the years, I've noticed being at the Moccasin Creek shows, a few of them here and there. Not as many as I wanted to go to, obviously, but I have noticed a huge musical, like real guitars, drums, bass. You got a full band up there, and you are rocking out slide guitar, Southern style, and that's my jam. I love it. Versus a lot of other people, they do just like backing tracks, rap beats, and no full band. No shade to anybody. So yeah, we has that had anything to do with your success, having the full band, or just like staying true to that sound?
1,000%, and I can break this down in two different ways. It's given, like you said, is it given us more? Yes, us, because that's what it needed. Because for one, like I said, I don't have the musical background. I didn't know enough about production to be able to do what needed to be done without an entire band of musicians. Sure. And so once we got into that and started rehearsing, I was like, oh, this sounds so organic, it's cool, let's do this, that. Now, stop right there, and you go to this side, and you go watch Dana Jones perform. He needs nothing.
Yeah.
His backing track and his drum, his show's so good, so loud, sounds so good because they know how to put all that together. And his show, I say this all the time. His live show is one of the best in the world.
Love David. Shout out David.
Yeah, any genre. Could he have a lot? Absolutely. Well, why would he, man? Why would he need to?
Sure.
The overhead that he does it all on his own, whatnot. But he was with Rehab all those years, so he knows bands.
Yeah, right. And they're there to see Demon.
Right. Well, yeah, that's why.
And Moccasin Creek, the whole package is.
And to be completely transparent, some people need a band to be good, and I damn sure need it. So I was like,
I think you could do it. You're awesome.
No way. I couldn't. I tried. It was missing for me. And I am not by any means knocking anybody that does track shows, because there's some great ones out there.
Sure.
But there's also some ones that go out there and they'll run their own show from their iPad and they're singing over their words, and it doesn't work right.
Exactly.
But I know that because I did it for 4 years. You know, but once I got the live band, see, I've been presented that several times. Like when I took these last 3 years off, hey man, come back, dude. We'll get you a DJ. All you need is a drummer. I'm like, to me, that's taking a step back because of where we had gotten with the band.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying a step back as far as the look, the presence, the whole package.
Right.
So, but no, dude, I don't knock it either way. If you put on a great show, you put on a great show. But for me, yes, I had to have it to be able to get us to the sound and where we needed to be. And I've been lucky to have people that actually didn't rely on me to run a band practice, because I don't know anything about it, you know?
Yeah,
like, sitting there right now, hey man, when we go into this bridge, do you want me to stay on E and C sharp? I don't know. I don't know. As long as it sounds like a song, bro, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah,
but that's good, because everybody, each spoke of the wheel is working like they're supposed to.
Right.
And man, you guys, if you've never seen the Moccasin Creek show, freaking go. Don't pay $5,000 to be in the nosebleeds at Taylor Swift. Go to a Moccasin Creek show.
We pay you to show up. You know, it's funny.
And he'll probably hang out with you afterwards.
the one thing that, honestly, this is weird. The biggest thing that made me really want to go into the live music, other than just being organic, real, and sounding different, is when you're playing to a track and you're doing, there's no room for you to do other stuff. Like one thing that I really enjoyed during our set is we have about a 10 to 15 minute medley masher, and we're working on our new one right now that may or may not include some AC/DC and some War Pigs and some shit that we had none of wrong. It's like people were at a live show at a bike rally or somewhere that's never heard us, and they're just walking by out in the crowd, and they see and they're like, wait a minute, did I just hear Sweet Home Alabama, Vanilla Ice, and the Beatles at the same time? What is this? And then they come back. So it gave us with a live band, you could just do so much more.
The freedom,
right? You know, so that was always my big thing. Cause I'd be and Smo, I'm like, Smo, how hard would it be for us to, do this cover? Well, you could just pull instrumentals and shit back then and put on our, it was just.
It would be
the
hard.
band was needed.
It would be super hard.
The band was needed.
And it would be like, if you didn't remember just one part, you can't be like,
Well, and another thing too, I can't sing, so all these hooks that I had people sing, there's no way I can do that live. Well, I would do my verses and just stop and let the shit play on the track. Like I was like, no, that was just, I couldn't do that.
Right. I think I made the right decision to stay true to that.
Boy, they dip into your bank account, though.
Yeah. So one of my personal favorites is Judge My Past. At the beginning of the song, it says, based on a true story. I notice there's a lot of deep lyrics, stories about hard living in that song. Off the record, well, I guess we're on the record, but it is
1,000% true.
Okay, yeah, 1,000% true. And I thought it was. I didn't think you'd put out something out there that was, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But, so, do you know anybody from that song who's like told you, like, hey, man?
It's so wild, bro. That's something to me that's still surreal, and I still have problems sometimes answering or replying to those emails because it's like I didn't do it. I didn't write the song to help people. I wrote it to help me, and not knowing that it was going to help people. Which is really cool. I may have worded that wrong. I did it because I needed to get it off my chest and let people know my real past and what's really, why I am the way I am. And I've always been very vocal about my mental health and issues and my drug addictions. And so I put that out. And when you get a random message from a guy, man, I was sitting at the riverbank last week with my pistol loaded in my mouth and hear this song out of the blue because it was on my recommended.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, dude, man, how do you respond to that? Other than, hey, man, there's always something better. Like, I don't know. So I involuntarily became a therapist. And I was like, man, this is, dude, I had no idea. It was pretty impactful. And
it's hard to wrap your brain around.
Yeah, and it was honestly, man, it was one of those things that I'm from such a good, close-knit, well-rounded family. And I was the only one that strayed down that path. And it was kind of like they knew, everybody always knew. Never really talked a whole lot about it other than like if I got in trouble or something, they needed to know, whatever. That was kind of my way to just tell the family, like, this is everything you've heard and gossip through town. It's probably true. And by putting it in a song and video, it was just my way of being able to express that to them. And, just to hear those calls from your mom, like, that is so good. I love it, but I never want to listen to it again. Because we know
the worry.
Yeah, man. It's to be away from all that is.
I believe, dude, that there's very little coincidences in life, and so who knows? At some point, a higher force, God could have made made you go through some stuff, or I mean, it could be you or did it or whatever, but inadvertently it helped save somebody.
Absolutely,
helps.
You know what was wild to that, and you can cut any of this just because it's on my mind to sidetrack.
No,
when I went out on the road and started doing music heavily and cruising on the bus and doing all this and that, I had been clean a long time since then. I lived my rock star life before I got into music.
Yeah.
I lived that when I was playing ball, when I was making money, and all that. Right. So I got all that out of me in my early to mid 20s. The entire time I was on the road, never did cocaine, never did drugs. I was drinking, but I never had any of that stuff. 11 years, and then I relapsed 6 months ago.
Oh man.
2 days, and I think that was God saying, "Hey, you need a reminder." And that was it. That's all I needed. I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember why I stopped." Never had it. And it wasn't that I had an urge. I was with somebody that I'd been around all my life and hung with, and they had, I'm good. Next day, I'm about to call, "Hey man, can I?" Nope. I'm just holding the phone up.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I've always been vocal about it. Yeah, I think it all happened. That was my talk with my higher power, saying, "Hey, you need this right now to remind yourself of what you could go back to if you don't stay on the right road."
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that, bro.
I had to stop doing Judge My Past Live. I couldn't get through it.
Wow.
Break up. Every time I started getting choked up and shit, I'm like, because it was terrible, man. I went from having everything, and my dad was my town, 15, 20,000 people, but my dad was just superintendent of schools. His brother was the athletic director and head football coach for 25 years. My mom was a teacher. We knew everybody. So it was so hard.
You can't keep a secret.
Right, and I felt like such an embarrassment and a letdown to a small town for so long. And that's one of my big issues with mental health is I didn't make the NFL. So I thought I let my whole town down because they always behind my back. I made it all the way to the Arena League and played Division I football. But I fought for 5 seasons. That's when I got into drugs. So I just felt like I got everybody down I was working. And then I got the music, started having success. Didn't care about any of that again.
Yeah, right.
And then when I was like, I'm about to retire, I'm getting out of it. I was in a bad place, didn't know if I wanted to continue with this. I think that's really why he was like, "Here, do this one time and remember why you quit all this shit and got your life straight the first time." So it's been.
Well, thank you for sharing that, bro. And I mean, I wasn't trying to pry.
I don't know, man. I don't mind talking about it.
It could help somebody.
I don't mind talking about it. I don't mind speaking, doing engagements, especially young kids, schools, whatnot. That's kind of like my. Dude, I get so tired of 15 years of going and sitting on the couch just like this, talking to somebody that I've never met in my life.
Yeah.
I don't mind because this is therapy for me. Get it out. So.
Hey.
It is what it is.
Hey, man, I love bringing the raw interviews, so thank you for that, man.
Oh, yeah.
And in no way are we going to exploit that in any kind of way. We are going to put, we are about positive stuff. So, and on my channel the other day, I went live and I was like, "Hey, guys, tell your story." And so there was like probably 15, 20, not a lot of people, but 15 or 20 people that's been following me for a long time. I didn't know, but a lot of them were ex-addicts.
Okay.
Hey, I've been clean for 10 years. Hey, and I was like, let's celebrate this.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. We're celebrating, man. And man, it's just, and you know what? All those disappointments and all that stuff, that's a lot of pressure, bro.
It's
a lot of pressure.
It is.
The football thing or whatever.
When you put it on yourself.
Yeah.
See, it took me till I was 40 years old to realize that they didn't care if I didn't make it. They were just excited that I was getting the opportunity to go do something, go play ball in college. They were supportive. I was the one that made it like, damn, they're supporting me this. That means they want me. So yeah, you put that on yourself. The pressure, I think pressure is all self-inflicted.
Stress is a killer, bro.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And man, I did that to myself for a while. I did that to myself for a while. I was like, I want to make my family proud. And my mom told me one time, we've always been proud.
Right. And that was, what was it? how long has COVID been? 3 years now. See, my dates are all out of whack because of 4 years ago, I was 38, 39 years old at the time, or somewhere around there. I had to go to I had to check in Orlando to an adult, for lack of a better term, crazy house. Because I just couldn't figure it out, and I thought I was dying every day. And it boils down to, it was the pressure I was putting on myself.
Yeah.
Nobody else was. And at the time too, I was on blood pressure medicine. I was on this medicine. I was on my bipolar meds. I was on my manic meds. I was like, dude, does anybody think that maybe 6, 7, 8 different medications a day, if you miss that one or take that one, do you think there's an issue here? I'm never gonna, and this is since I was 19, 20 years old when I was first diagnosed and started being medicated on something. I finally just told Daphne, I said, look, I'm not taking anything anymore. We're going to figure this out.
Sure.
I went down. I was in the facility for a few weeks. Got out. And they said, well, you got to take blood pressure medicine. You're 400 pounds. I said, well, so I got off all that, did everything for 3.5 years now. I take my 1-a-day vitamin. That's it.
Wow, bro.
It's like,
that's crazy.
But going back to what I said, I moved down to Florida and started getting out and walking and doing all that.
Yeah.
I remember waking up one morning. It took about 4.5, 5 weeks. That's when I said I'm done with medicine altogether. And now, granted, if I needed a heart pill to live, I'd take it.
Sure.
It was just all this other stuff that I think we mentally. I'm not knocking medicine. It can help.
Yeah. Sure.
But I was on so many different meds and so long and going back and forth that I remember when I finally stopped, it was about 7 weeks. And I woke up one morning and I went to start walking. I said, this is how normal feels. That was the first time I had a sense of clarity, normalcy. I was I hadn't felt like this since I was 16, not physically, mentally. I was like, what the? And I think, I'm not blaming anybody. I just think it was too many stuff. Oh, your affection you've been on for a year, so it's not going to work anymore. But changing packs, or it was always so I was never going to be right.
I mean, in itself, even a lot of meds aren't healthy either.
No,
for sure.
Eating, drinking.
Yes, there's substitutes, man. The body has a way of healing itself.
And everybody's body is completely different.
Sure, exactly. And the body and mind is tied together. If the body's doing better, the mind's going to do better.
Right.
There's a lot that actually work. I'm a caregiver for a mental health facility.
Right.
And so I see a lot of that. I see a lot of guys where they're like, no, they got to be on this. But then they'll take them off and they're fine. And sometimes, and there's so much that goes into that, bro.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing.
That's a whole nother, that's a 10-hour podcast right there.
That's a podcast right here. You ain't kidding, man. So, let's see. How do you feel about, in the past, 15 years or so, how music, now you say you wasn't into music a whole lot back.
I was in it. I wasn't in it. I loved music.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about the direction the business is taking, streaming versus CDs versus mainstream versus independent now? It's good. Is it good and bad, or is it just bad, or is it just good? Or
I think this is all personal opinion. I think that social media and internet accessibility allowed mediocrity to be accepted, which is okay.
On a huge level.
I was mediocre at best, and I was like, okay. But as far as that whole business, even before I was in the business, you'd always hear about, hey man, so-and-so's about to sign a record deal. That's what everybody was chasing. So that's what you always thought was the norm. I always thought was the norm. And then when we got into it, started doing the independent stuff, blah, 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 we were able to, there's so many of them now. What's Chance the Rapper?
Chance, yeah, he's huge.
Trillionaire. Because he said, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself in this new streaming stuff. But yeah, I think it's changed immensely everywhere to where, don't get me wrong, I still think major label deals can be great for the right person. They've got the machine to put you behind and do things. It's great. Yeah. It all depends on the person, the individual, the genre, the sound. There's so many factors, but
there is.
It's ever changing. It's changing.
It is.
When we all first got the grasp of our fan base and being able to really do the number of downloads and whatnot. We need it through Apple and iTunes, and then all of a sudden streaming comes out. We're like, and it took about a year and a half, 2 years before artists even started getting paid on streaming.
Yeah.
So like we were all, nobody knew, and so
it's like it's cool for the consumer, but for the artist, it's really hard on.
And it's changed so much, and I look at it as just from a fan and a music, just a music listener. Went from 45s and albums to tapes to DVD or CDs, and then MP3s, and just watching it progress. And at the same time, the business has done the same. It's like
it's evolved.
In the '90s, the producers used to make all the money.
Yeah.
And it got to a point to where the McCOOLs of the world, and these people, the Tom McDonald's and people that could produce their own stuff, or had a buddy that could produce. You didn't need 46 suits telling you, so watching it from afar and then getting into it and seeing it firsthand, it's like, whoa, there's a lot of aspects to it. And
there's so much to it. Yeah.
I used to be one of those, and I've got plenty of lyrics about it. I don't need a record. Damn, I get it, but certain people do need it, and it's okay. I don't mind. I did at one time, and I get it now.
I used to. Well, I mean, I'm against it.
Oh yeah.
And then again, like you said,
you understand it.
You can't. Some people can't go in and get the same great music we used to listen to.
Right.
I'm more from a production side. I don't like the critics or the label execs as much, but like the production side, what if George Strait never had a producer,
right.
And he did it on his own? Right. You know what I'm saying? And so like you wouldn't.
Oh no, like you say, I get it both ways. I'm against the way they control things,
right.
And I'm also against the way how they can manufacture things off of somebody else's image and sound that they just. Prime example, I'll put it out. I don't care. He's one of my really good friends, but Benton Blunt. He's a tremendous country singer. He was 4 or 5 years ago. He was the runner-up on America's Got Talent, and that's not even a singing show. So And Benton had a huge career, and he came to Nashville back in the day, and bald head, goatee, had a look, this, that, and the other, and I'll tell you off camera who became him. Because the labels, you go look at their side by side, their photos, and all this shit. And Benton holds nothing; he doesn't mind. But that derailed his career so much. He got out of it for like 10 years, then went back to America's Got Talent, and now he's a city councilman in North Carolina, and he still does music. But he's a prime example. He's one of the best songwriters I've ever heard, one of the best voices ever. He was a little chubby, didn't have the look. They're like, we got this other kid pretty good, and so. That's the thing I don't like about people that have the money and power is that they can create.
Yeah,
they can create something.
In authenticity, just like we were talking about.
And I'm not saying.
No, yeah.
It's just he had that opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, that shit came in. But other than that, we're good.
We'll take that off for sure. We'll cut it.
It's just wild, man, watching that. And dude, you should hear the wrestling stories. Same thing with the wrestling club. So many of them come in with the best of look or the good voice. And they're like, it doesn't match, but we got this other guy. We can just make him.
Right.
Shit happens all the time.
And that's the thing I love about it is because now the losers are winning.
Right.
And so like back in the day, it was like, I mean, dude, look at me. I would never have the opportunity to do what I just did with church because church wouldn't be church.
It's persistent.
You know what? Church wouldn't be church. He wouldn't be where he's at because they wouldn't let him do that.
Absolutely.
Because he says fuck or he has a rebel flag.
Right.
And so that's the cool thing about it is the tables are turning
to where the control
is falling out of these other people's hands.
Right.
And
you control it now.
Yeah. Is it a good thing? I think so. Is it going to stay a good thing? I don't know.
Yeah, because it's always changing.
It just depends on.
There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that right now the big brains and the suits they're coming up with a new way right now that they can make more money off of somehow with a new service or something that's going to it's always in motion.
Right, you're exactly right. And it's just interesting to be living in this time.
Dude, wildest of times.
It is.
Wow.
Can you tell us your favorite, or do you have one favorite MC album or project that you've been a part of, and why? If you was going to say this collective album is Moccasin Creek.
I think the Motive album was probably my favorite. There's 3 or 4 like true.
Is that the one with something to smoke?
Yeah.
Oh man,
there's 3 or 4. That's it's Sonny Bama.
Oh, okay.
And his buddy, dude, I feel terrible for even because I never met him, never anything. Wrote the hook and sang the hook.
Yeah.
And then Sonny and I did it. We were just got done rehearsing that because that's our band's favorite one to play. It's one of my favorite songs.
I love it.
But I think Motive is my favorite because there's 12 songs on the album. There's 4 that have that real old school Moccasin Creek sound.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 that have that old Moccasin Creek sound. There's 3 that shows the transition into more stuff like Something and a few of these other songs that are more feel good.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 where I went through this terrible phase, and I'm the first to admit it, I get it, where I went through this phase where I was just trying to prove to everybody that I could rap. Like, I'd see these rap, I'm like, I can rap, and I got so caught up in it's what I wanted to do, so I can't be mad at me. But I also understood that my core fan base was going, that's not what we like. I get that. But sometimes I want to put stuff out for me.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And it took me a while to grasp that. That's why I'm happy that everything we're doing now, I finally got back to hey, you know what? This feel good Moccasin Creek sound, that's what got me here, and that's what the supporters have always followed, and they deserve that. So let's do that more.
I know what you mean.
The Motive album,
Motive album. I know what you mean, bro. I literally, so like, there's been a few songs that I've been jumping on lately, and like, there's a lot of people like that don't think you can rap or whatever. So you're like, you know what? Even though this song it doesn't really make sense to do it this way, I'm gonna spit bars on it.
Right.
Yeah, I got into that too.
Well, it's because even in the more of our Moccasin Creek stuff, I was always throwing punches in here, funny things that people would get, but I wanted to prove them like, yeah, I got word to play, I can do this, I can do that.
Yeah.
But that was just for me because ego. And
or you got that hater.
Looking at the Motive album, like Proud American, that was
bro.
Nowhere. Ain't Too Far From Nowhere. This whole album, Hard on the Back Road, Rock and Roll Beat. Yeah, this is my favorite album. Mama Told Me. Yeah, that's my favorite project.
I would say that would be mine because I love Proud American too.
Yeah, my favorite 3 or 4 songs that I've ever been a part of are not even songs they're not even Moccasin Creek songs. And in fact, one of them I talk about all the time. It's mind-boggling. I did a song with a cat named Jim Starr. He lives down in Florida. He's worked with Target and them for about 15 years. We did a song called Figure It Out about 5 years ago. It's got like 3,000 views on YouTube. One of those things. One of the best songs, like it's my favorite song I've ever done. People never heard it. It doesn't matter, but that's my favorite. So
it's weird how it happens.
It is. It's different, man. It's
weird how it happens.
And it changes consistently too, like what you dig, what you don't.
Right.
But yeah, I think the Motive album is my favorite.
Y'all check out the Motive album. You will not be disappointed.
Obviously, the first one's cool because that's kind of set the tone to everything. But yeah, Motive. I enjoyed the Stomping Grounds album that came out last year. It was fun, and now I think we're slated for the end of July, right before we go on tour, to drop the new one.
Oh, sweet! So new album coming, guys.
We got 9 songs.
There
We
you
got
go.
two more to cut, and then we got to come up with a title.
I'm sure you will, man. I'm sure you will. That kind of leads me to the next question. What is the future of Moccasin Creek? I know you guys kind of talked about there was a retirement thing that was kind of discussed, and I'm super glad that isn't happening, man.
Well, I never planned on retiring from the thing as a whole. I was just I didn't have it in me to do the road anymore.
That's hard.
And I'll be honest with you, man, a lot of it too is sad because the road, I didn't want what came with it as far as because we did everything in house. Mm-hmm. And I just got divorced, or we had just separated, and Daphne ran everything. She did our booking, she did our road night, she traveled with us, and then I had this guy that ran the band, and I had my driver, and we got a bus. So when all that stopped, and COVID stopped, and nobody was doing anything for a year and a half, couldn't do anything, everything kind of fell apart. I was like, man, I don't know that I had the money, the time, and the just mentality to just start from scratch again.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I was telling, so it was the tour thing. I never planned on stopping music.
Gotcha.
And so to answer your question, what's the future hold? 1,000%. We start July 28th. We're touring until November. And then we have our Moccasin Creek cruise. And then
baby.
I'm going to take a break in December, reassess, and figure out how hard we're going to. But the music and the videos, they're not going to stop. In fact, the plan is, I'll go ahead and say it. I just sat and talked with everybody the other day. My team, Trader Made, Target, and Breadwin, and all these guys in Florida where I'm at. August to August, I'm going to drop a single and a video on the first of the month from August to August.
Oh, man. 12? Once a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, we've already got my 4 of them shot.
Okay.
That's the hardest thing on the planet, especially an independent artist is sitting on a video. They're sitting on a song.
Yeah, the right time.
I shot a video. Breadwin came to.
Shout out Breadwin. Shout out Hard Target.
Breadwin came out to Northwest Washington State 2 summers ago, and we shot 3 or 4 songs, and 2 of them aren't out yet. I'm like, dude, they're finally coming, but you know, it's weird. Like sometimes you write a song, you shoot the video, and it's just got a summer feel, or it's just got a wintry feel. And this one, it's called West Coast. It's just got a fall, winter feel to it.
Yeah.
And I had too much going on last fall, so it kind of missed. And it was like, we're not putting this a great song. I'm like, not a filler. Like, we got to put this out. So by the time it comes out in September, so it's going to be like 2 years old.
Yeah, right.
It's just part of it, man. But that's the plan. That's the plan of to drop a video once a month for the next 12 months.
That's awesome, dude. That's going to get y'all like banging again.
Well, that also gives me time too. That if you can get that much done, you don't feel pressured to have to put out stuff.
Yeah.
You can take a break. I got an inkling for something cool today. Let me hit the studio. If not, no big. I got all this stuff.
If you're shooting 1 a month and you don't have anything done and you're crunching everything, it
gets rough.
That's rough, for sure.
It gets rough.
I got a song with a guy. I'm not gonna mention his name yet because I haven't even. Well, I guess I showed some people on live the other day, but I have a song. It's a fall time feel.
Right.
It's kind of a breakup, chill in the air type song.
Same exact thing.
There we go.
You can tell we got jackets and stuff because it was cool. It was cold in fall. You could tell.
So you can't put it out in summer.
How you put this out in July?
Right.
That'd be like me putting out a lake song. Everybody on the boat. Let's drop it Christmas Day. It makes no sense. You just see people do it too.
Yeah.
And you're not thinking because you forget 90% of your music's listened to streaming.
Yeah.
The rest of it, when they see the videos,
right.
You don't know
Some people don't pay attention, but you'll always have a group of people who are like, this didn't make sense, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I totally agree with trying to find the right feel, the right time. The one that I've been sitting on for a while, it's like, I'm the same way, I got to put it out in fall, but then like, for some reason, I can't get together with the dude to shoot it. And he's like, yeah, let's shoot it, but we just can't ever meet up.
Right,
so like, whenever it was this past winter, whenever it was getting close to summer, I was like, I guess there's another fall coming around.
Yeah.
I guess there's another.
I'm in that same situation right now. I've got one that we just cut that, you just know sometimes this song's going to be popular amongst your fan base and your supporters, and it's going to do well. And I know this one's going to be really, really big, and it sucks because the same way it's not going to do the justice it needs without a video, but it's with Big B. So me and Big coordinate from here to Cali and get the video. It's like, and he does his, and he's a legend. So just to even have him on the track is really cool to me.
Yeah. And you want to make it right.
Right. And so we're trying to work that out now. I mean, it may be 7-8 months before the video ever gets shot, but it's timing, man, and crossing paths. And, especially this genre is cool because so many people work together and do so many features together. But now that we're at this point where everybody's touring and whatnot, it is hard to get together and do videos. Yeah. Like back in the day, 5, 6, 7 years ago, Clay, Brian, hey, will y'all do this feature? Yeah, man, we do a feature. Let's get it. Well, we could get a video then because everybody wasn't doing 55 weeks a year.
Yeah, right. A show every
You know?
5 shows a week or whatever.
Yeah, but, I mean,
shout out Wax.
They're doing more shows than weeks in the year. It was 52 weeks, so they were doing enough to be 55. Yeah, I can't.
It's a lot of shows.
Yeah, it's a lot. I meant 55 shows, not weeks, but
one of my buddies is opening up for them right now.
Yeah.
They've got a couple songs together. They're at, those boys are at it, dude.
hey, well, it's nonstop. Them, the Bandits, Beeman, Colt, they stay on the road, man. They kill it, and they've earned every bit of what they get because most people don't have it in them to go out and chase it that hard. And
yeah, you're right.
you know,
Well, people think that's what I want. That's what. But dude, when you get out
there,
oh, it's
see
rough.
that's another thing with me too. It's like I was always in the limelight with sports, and I played at the highest level, and I was always around these. So that part of it, I was never didn't bother me. It truly did not. Like if you get to the limelight or you get that didn't bother me at all. When, like you said, most people are chasing that part of it.
Right.
So I got lucky in that aspect that part was never what I was chasing. I was truly like figuring out how do I make this work because I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just goes from there. But those guys, they work so hard and they go, the ones that walk the limelight, like we were saying, they're not built for it because they're not going to be able to go out on their first tour and say the first night they go open for somebody and there's 500 at a 550 seat room, it's a great crowd, and then tomorrow night you're playing for 3 bartenders, the sound guy, and that one person in the room.
Right.
That shit takes all the wind out of your sails.
It does.
It's hard, and
it does. And let's say you don't sell but 2 shirts.
Yeah, you're done. It's hard,
right.
And I know for a fact, like right now, we've been off the road for 3 years. We're going back out. The way social media is now, I'm not blaming them because I wouldn't be nobody if there was social media. So if you're not promoting ads and putting money behind it, your people don't even know. Yeah. I know for a fact on this run, we're going to play some shows that there's going to be very few people there, but there's going to be lots of people here, and then you just got to accept that and go.
Sure.
So we always call it the 5 or 500 tour. Like they don't care if you're playing in front of 5 or 500, we're giving you the same energy.
But those 5, or well, there's going to be more than 5. Those 50.
I swear, like funniest thing, we played at Valdosta, Georgia one night. The club owner walks in right after sound check. Nick was there. We go into this bar. Where were we at in Georgia? He'll tell me the city. We walk in the bar, do sound check. The owner comes up and says, "Hey guys, I'm so sorry. About 3 weeks ago, Kid Rock announced that he was going to do a pop-up and play the fair for free. He said, I'm going to that show. He paid us. He leaves. We're in Georgia, right? So I kid you not. This is an 800 seat room. Sound guy, 2 bartenders. About 8 songs in, I just stopped. I said, "Yo, let's just rehearse some shit.
Let's go to the rock show."
We would stop and go get drinks and come back. It was fine. It was a pretty good paying show. Dude, the owner paid $7. I was like,
so y'all still made your money.
That shit happened to us in North Carolina too. Snoop was doing a set at some festival. Our show started at like 6. There was festivals there. That good crowd. And at like 6:30, you see people looking at their phone, and they were pulling their tickets out, and they're going to the other show. I'm like, God, dude, this is disheartening.
That's
what I'm saying. Some people,
they ain't built for that.
I don't know who it is. This shit, it'll wreck you.
Hey guys, let's rehearse. What we got? What we got, guys?
We actually stopped mid-show that night, got drunk, and shot that video for Drunk Off My Ass.
There you go.
Let's make something out of it.
Make the most of it.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. The bartender's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna."
No, it was the owner.
The owner.
Yeah, he walked in and said, "Hey man, I ain't gonna be at the show." Hands the envelope, and he's like, "Peace." I was like, "Is this whatever, bro?"
Well, speaking of stories, can you tell me at least 1, 2, or however many you want to, however many we have time for, crazy stories, man, just something that just sticks out to you where you're like, I'll never forget that.
In all realms of life, or just music?
Well, I guess the music, like being on the road or like.
That'd be easy. I mean, all around. We can go from the, pet alligator in college to, whatever.
Well, let's do this then. One from all rooms, one from all rooms, and then one from music.
I think the music, like the wild, I'll say it right now too. And I don't give a damn. I'll say it right now in the midst of all the controversy with the crazies and the people. I shouldn't say crazy, but whatever. So we're playing in Arkansas. There's a lady in the front row. She was dressed to the nines, little mini skirt, camouflage, crop top. She just jamming. That was a good crowd too.
Yeah.
Playing shooters, Texarkana. I'll never forget this. We're about 6 songs in. We're kicking ass, taking names. I won't forget. Some dude walks up from the bar, bro, with a bar stool and just cracks this lady right in the back. Like,
hits the lady?
Hits the lady right in the back. Knocks her down. I just stop. I get, yo, shut up. I turn around and look. As she hit the ground, her legs fell up, her dick fell out. And it was bigger than everyone on stage. And I didn't know how to handle this, right? Because this is before this shit was like,
I'm sorry.
No, I kid you not.
I wasn't expecting that.
I actually put this story up not too long ago. So I looked. I'm like, yo, man, we don't hit women. And I looked and I said, well, I don't know. So him, whatever. It
Carry on.
Pops up, squares up like a dude, and it starts dotting dude up. I'm like, what is going on here? It was the wildest shit
This
ever.
is a teaser clip. This is
The funniest thing ever, though. So, like 3 years later, we're in Dallas, and which is a couple hours from Texarkana. We're in Dallas playing Gas Money. After this show, this dude walks up to the table. He's like, "Hey man, it's good to see y'all again. Well, you meet some people." I'm like, "Hey, good. Thanks for coming out." He's like, "You don't remember me, do you?" I was like, "Man, I'm sorry. We meet so many people and everything." He kind of got offended. He's like, "No, I figured y'all remember me. We had a good time one night in Arkansas." And I was like, I looked at that. He looked at me and I was like, "This is the dude that cracked the guy with the bar stool."
Oh, okay.
And then he goes to this. No, I was the woman that got cracked. I was like, "Take me home. Like, we got to go. We're working crazy." Because he was a man this night. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Right stick to you, God, dude." It was wild.
Figured you remember me. I had a wig on and some boobs, but all right. I'm sorry.
That one.
I'm trying to stay professional.
It's hard. We play all these mud balls, and
What did you say, real quick? What did you say to him, her after that? What did you say? Like what?
It's probably one of the 3, maybe 4 times in life that I was.
Nice to meet you.
Couldn't find words. I've never, ever not been able to say something. That shit was just so random, bro. Like almost as random as we're playing in Texas, outdoor mud ball. And I used to perform barefoot for like the first 4 or 5 years. We're doing this mud ball all day. We're out there doing our thing. We get to the show. I'm barefoot. I'm up on stage. The stage is 5 feet off the ground. Big crowd up front, and I felt something. Look down, and there is a lady in the front row that has my big toe in her mouth. I said, I just stopped the show. I was like, "Yo, Connor, chill." I said, "Man, normally this would kind of be somewhat erotic, I'd assume, in some realms of life, but do you understand how nasty my feet are, first off? Man, I've been out here all day sweating, toe grunge, just hanging out, and you put that shit in your mouth?" I was like, "Are you married?" She said, "No." I said, "Think about your life choices, baby, because you can't go around sucking random dirty toes at mud balls and expect to have a man." Like, I didn't know what to say. Like, it was just, I see some wow shit on the road, bro. Me and Small and Jackie, first time we did a live show, we drove from Tennessee all the way to West Virginia to do a dirt bike rally, some shit like that. And we got all the way there. We had just started. There's no download money. There's no nothing. No music money. I don't even think we're getting paid for that. And we were so hungry. We'd been on the road for a day and a half that I could remember going to the concession stand and waiting for them to throw shit out. and we could crack corn dogs, half eaten. They're grubbing slow, like, you're nasty. I said, no, I'm hungry. But yeah, no, we saw a whole bunch of wild shit out there. But yeah, life stories. There's two. Oh yeah, we were in West Virginia one time and playing a mud ball, and after the show, get done, walk off the stage, go over to the tent for meet and greet type stuff. And, you walk through this dark kind of trip. I said, what is that? Look down, 30-pound dead beaver. It's just been trampled in the crowd. I'm like, where are we that we're playing and we got to worry about beavers? Like, what is wow?
Yeah, tripped up by beaver,
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh,
there's been some wild ones, man.
All right, bro. So, all right, at some point, we're going to have to book another just straight Jeff McCOOL stories.
Oh yeah, that's what I started doing, man.
Best stories hands down.
What I started doing now is having buddies when I was running wild and doing all that in college. I'm having them tell the story how they remember it. I go back in and tell the story, and I've been editing and chopping them together. I will send you a couple of them. You'll laugh. They're funny. Especially the college alligator story is great. It's already on YouTube and edited. You'll love it. But long story short, we caught an alligator in college, kept it in my house for several weeks. We used to walk on a leash and shit just to be stupid. And the game warden came one night and was like, you gotta get rid of it.
It's fucking out here.
Well, the river we took it out of was 30 miles away. We were drunk as shit, so none of us was driving. The campus was only like a block away, so we just we had a name for them and everything. Hey, you gotta watch it. Well, we turned loose in the campus swimming pool, and it was all in the news and shit. It was just wild. But yeah,
it was on the news.
This is 1999, bro. People didn't just throw 6-foot alligators in swimming pools. We ran wild, man.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, guys. The audio. I'm sorry. I lost it a while ago.
We ran wild for a hot minute. Yeah.
That's good stuff, right?
The Arkansas night was you know what? We laughed about that. People always ask wild stuff that's happened on the road. 4 of the top 5 craziest things that ever happened on the road all happened in Arkansas. And that's why I hunt in Arkansas. And I always tease them about it. I'm like, y'all Arkansas. Dude, this place is wild, bro. Like, we played a show one night. Nick was with us. We played a show out on a flatbed, out in like an outdoor, and had to literally like dive off the stage at one point because wild horses started rushing. I'm not talking about somebody's horse. I'm talking about wild, free range running ass horses. Like, what is going on, bro? We're supposed to be doing
Mustangs.
Yeah, we had that in Arkansas. We had the Shim accident with the fight with that. We had another incident in Arkansas at a small town. I won't say but at that small town, the chief of police happened to be at our show. The chief of police got a DUI leaving the whole show because he's doing burnouts in the parking lot of this damn state issue vehicle.
This is the chief of police got DUI.
Yeah, this is Arkansas, bro. It's
shout out Arkansas.
That's a wild place.
If I ever in my life want to just be like, screw it, man. Maybe, I'm not even going to speak this into existence. Maybe I become a single man at some point in my life. But I'm like, screw it. I'm going to Arkansas for about a month or two.
Let me tell you. It's beautiful too. In Northwest Arkansas, right? Those Ozarks and shit, man, beautiful. And I've hunted out there at Hillarosa, and that was cool too. One of the first big shows we ever did, I was in the Lax, played Hillarosa ATV Park 10 years ago, and people were just crazy. They were super cool. There was a big ass fight that night. I forgot. We had the whole crowd fighting because the dude knocked my crawfish over when I was trying to eat. And I said, look, man, you can't knock my food over. And before I could even get up, one of my fans hit that dude next to him. It was like roadhouse, 30 on 30. I was just over there eating coffee. I was like, damn, he took a good one. So anyway, those people were super great. And me and the owners of the property, JJ, the Bonner family, he's like, man, come on, hunt. So I've been hunting there for 10 years. I love Arkansas, dude. It's wild. It's wild.
Arkansas is New Texas. Everybody.
It is. It's a different.
Oh my gosh, dude. Those stories. That's clips. That's teasers right there. That's your teaser.
It's a trip, man.
All right, man. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time. We're an hour 30 minutes in. I mean, are you good? I got one more.
I got 10 minutes.
Cool. All right, so this is the last bit. If you have anything to say on this subject, or anything else to say other than this question, just go into that too. if you have any advice for an up-and-coming musician, artist, personality trying to come up, seek a career, what would that advice be? Or if you just have anything else to say, just
simple. First and foremost, don't chase.
go to Arkansas. No, I'm sorry.
You're close. Don't go to Nashville. Don't go to LA. Don't go to New York. Don't go to Chicago. Don't go to these cities because you think you have to, because that's what it was like in the back in the day. Everybody chased it. They had to go there.
Right.
Solidify yourself. Be comfortable in what you do. Own your craft, but solidify yourself locally first. Grow your online presence. Branch out regionally, and grow organically. It's amazing how many people, and I'm one too, I do well, but a lot of people will go to their hometown and can't sell tickets.
Yeah.
And we all want to blame them. It's no, you shouldn't, you never gave them what you should have been giving them.
True.
Tell them you're here. Let them know. So I always just say, when people ask me, well, what advice you give me? Practice, work, do as much as you can, get as good at it, and grow your online presence and grow regionally, do things. But you know, the kids are always asking, hey man, my daughter's such and such, should she go to Nashville? No. Unless they're 10, 12, 15 year seasoned and understand the business, learn it and then go from there.
Sure, right.
Everybody's in a rush. And I get it, I was too. But you
stellar advice.
Do it right way.
That's stellar advice. Well, I mean, nowadays.
I learned it through trial and error, so
Right.
you know.
Right. So nowadays, you have the internet. You post something, you
And I may be completely wrong too. I mean, everybody's blueprint's different. But I can tell you right now that if I took how we formulated everything and how we got to where we are and said, here, do this, it's probably not going to work for you.
It would be a wild road. Yeah.
You tell me how you got there and I tried it, it might not work for me. So there's no blueprint. I just think it's all about when you again, it took me a decade to get to where you enjoy yourself, you love yourself, and you respect yourself enough to put out the music that you want to, and then you build. And you don't let people tell you no. Like, we had to combat that shit for years, and I think it's cool that the avenues opened up enough now that a lot of people are accepted that aren't as country per se, but it's no different than when hip hop turned to rap and rap turned to whatever. There's always a gradual change, and nothing's steady. You know.
At the end of the day, you know, people like what they're going to like, and if you are, I guess, in my opinion, if you're authentic, they're going to chase that. And you know what? If you're somebody who's just paying for views, you know, that's going to sort itself out. You know, I'm not hating on anybody or whatever, and you know, everybody's paying for views. But what I'm saying is, like you're saying, be yourself, put yourself out online. You don't have to go to Nashville. You put some on the internet. You are in Nashville. People from Nashville might see you. Also, I think what Jeff is trying to say.
Yeah, I wasn't knocking it. I'm just saying the younger ones, you don't have to do that because that's what you think is expected. Now you can go ahead.
I think what Jeff is trying to say. Is that the biggest part of advice he has is go to. What's up, bud?
Right at church.
Yeah, I agree, don't you? Yeah.
I'm Sam Ralston. I recorded around here once before.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, nice to meet you, bro.
Chad is back there, and you know Chad Arms?
He's here.
I just interviewed him.
Yeah, he's here.
He's here.
Yeah, he's back in the studio right now.
I need to holler at him too, because
Sorry to interrupt y'all.
No. Sam, what room y'all in?
So the only thing I was going to say is this. What I think Jeff is trying to say, actually what I know Jeff is trying to say, and this will be the end of the video, is if you go to Arkansas and spend 6 months in Arkansas, you can survive anything.
That's a fact, Jack.
Bro, I appreciate this so much. This has been the funniest.
I'm just pulling. I appreciate it. I'm pulling up something to show you.
All right. If you got anything else, just
good, man.
We're gonna roll, man.
When you get a chance, on my YouTube page now, I'm starting to put up those stories, and I'm gonna pull up the Arkansas story for you to show you how we're editing and cutting them.
I told you not to